This size will be okay for you, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, so these are the things we have discussed on the last class. So basically, I was discussing about the data types we have. So the first one is what the numbers we have. So in Python, we have only data types as numbers. Uh, we have in Python, and after numbers itself like integers, you can consider it as integers. There where there would be no decimal points. So those numbers are
Okay.
called as numbers or integers, anyone you can call. And so I have stored some value in A. That is what it is. Int value. Basically, we call it as int value, but you can give any number. You can give like a 10-digit number or 4-digit number. That's up to you. But when it comes to other languages like C and Java or some other languages, so they have there would be two things. One would be integer, the other would be double. We call it as double integer or something like that, which can store a larger value. Okay, that is what
Yeah.
with other languages, but in Python it automatically um, handles everything at the back end. Either it might be double or it might be int value. You can store any amount of any amount of value in that particular case. Okay, and where it comes to B, it is a float number. We call it as float number, where you mention a decimal. Okay, that is what a float number. Then it is a complex number. So C equal to 2 plus 3 is A. It is a complex number. So what is complex number? You might have heard about in mathematics. You might have done some calculations over complex numbers like 2 plus 3i, 2 minus 3i, where I equal to iota. We call as iota, which is
Iota. Yeah.
equivalent to root over of minus 1, right? Even Python supports complex numbers as well. Okay, so Python is a very
Okay.
brilliant language where we can find these complex numbers. It supports that. And when it comes to strings, uh, in other languages, we have two types of while we deal with characters. One is char, which is known as a single character value, and a string, which can carries multiple characters. But in Python, even though if you give a single character or a bunch of characters, it is treated as string. So there is only data type. We call it as string. If you want to keep a single character, that is up to you. If you want to keep a bunch of characters, you can keep. So both the cases, it is called as string only. So how to denote
Okay.
string is this is how you can denote. Either you can use double quotes, either you can use single quotes, either you can use single triple quotes, either you can use triple double quotes. Okay, in these many thing, in these are the ways how you can define it. And complex number you can denote as j. You should must only use j. You cannot use iota here. I don't know the reason, but here you have to treat j as root over of minus 1. So here let me write. So j is equal to there is no root over a symbol, but what I can give uh, like d minus 1 minus 1 power 1 by 2, which is a root. Okay, so we don't have root over value, so I have denoted in this way. Okay, perfect. So that is what the complex
Okay.
number. And float numbers you would be denoting with decimal number in between any of the number if you want. This is what 12.9, and this is normal integer that I have already we already know. And why specifically you have these many like variants of defining a string that we will be discussing. So these are the four different ways why we are usually trying to denote for a string values that I'll be discussing in a while. And apart from strings, we have list, and we have sets. These are the sets, and we have tuples, and we have dictionaries. So we basically use for list, we use this square brackets, and this actually we can treat as array as well. So we'll be discussing what is the difference between array and list as well in Python. And also we will be discussing sets and tuples and dictionaries. So first, let's start with strings first. Then we'll move to numbers. Okay, numbers means like numerical values. First we will be dealing.
Okay.
First we will be learning with strings. Then we'll deal with numbers and numerical. Three data types we have, right? Float, int, and complex numbers. We'll proceed that, and then we will be proceeding to this higher level data types where we can find list, the sets and all. So let's start with string. So as I mentioned, we can denote with these four different values. Why there is an urge of implementing four different categories to define a string value? So the actual need is what? So let me print one thing. So if I print, hi, I am Mona. Okay, I want to print this, so I can use either double quotes or else I can use single quote. It will it will be it will print. If I use single triple quotes also, it will print. But what's the difference then? There should be a difference, right? Everything
Yeah.
the reason they have made. The main reason is that, see, if I want to print something like this, let me type the string here. Hi, I am Mona. If I want to print this particular line, okay, is it possible by using
Yeah.
single quotes? Can we print this string in a
No.
single quote? Let me try with it. If I use single quotes and I try to write this particular sentence, it will throw an error. The reason is that you started with single quote. The Python always looks for the ending string. The ending string will be the nearest one. So here it got the a single string. So what the Python thought this is what the string you want to print, and it treated this as additional information. And you can't print statement always take like mm, uh, two or three parameters in it, but what you have given is a illegal statements here. So you are neither you are separating with it nor you are doing anything. So these are like illegal statements here. So this part is what illegal. That's the reason the color has been already changed here. So in order, if you, but you want to print this single string as well, so what you have the option. So the only option you have is using double quotes. Now use a double quote and now try to print. You got the single quote as well, and you have your sentence. Now what I have to print, like I want to print complete like this. Hi, I am Mona. This complete with double string I want to print. Then how can I do that? Now vice versa, use single quotes here, single quote here, and remove this single quote for the time being. And now you will be able to print with double quotes. So now the double quotes will be the part of your sentence, of your like expected output. Okay, any doubt here?
Okay.
Any doubt?
No.
So in order to print, in order
No,
to
Shannon.
be the part of double quotes in your expected output, we are adding single quotes outside it. So if you want to print this particular sentence, then use this in your sentence as it is, but close your things bound your things with single quotes. Okay. So now
Okay.
if I want to print a statement like I already, like this is what I want to print, complete this one. Now how can I print this? Any guess, like how can I print this particular sentence to be the output? How can I do this? Any guess?
So here we can, yeah,
Hmm.
single quotation 3 times.
Three times. Why can't I use single quotes double times? Any reason?
Single quotes double time.
Like I
Okay, so
can.
because in means in the output that we want, there is a single quotation.
So
So that will
so
create a problem.
correct. So we will be using single triple quotes. Then yeah. So now you got your desired output. Okay. Similarly,
Yeah.
triple double quotes has their own advantages. Okay, so that's the reason we have multiple methodologies to define a particular string value. Okay, now
Okay.
let's do some fun activities with strings. Okay, so for example, let me give a simple question, simple task to you. For example, if I say there is an ABC, I have written like something I have written in a string and I have stored it in value A. So now my question is that I need an output which should be the 3 times of the input. For example, this is what my expected output should be. So what you will be doing to achieve this output. So my input is this ABC, but my
Yeah.
output should be the 3 times. If the input is BC,
A into 3
yep.
we can do.
So how to write that? Any syntax suggestions for me? How can I do
Yeah,
that?
A then star 3,
A into
star
3.
3.
It will work, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, got it. So by using arithmetic operators, we can also use arithmetic operators in strings as well. Okay. So what are the arithmetic operators you can use for in string values? One is that what star, which is we
Star. Then
basically
add
multiplication,
symbol.
basically
Yeah.
multiplication and add symbol. Any other arithmetic operator can you use in string? Any other?
Like for concatenating, we use plus symbol. Then for
Yeah.
this one, we use don't remember any other arithmetic operations.
Okay, no worries. That's cool. Yeah, we for string manipulations and all, we will be using only star, which is multiplication basically. Don't call it as star symbol. It's the name is asterisk or something we call it as. I'm unable to pronounce it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Asterisk. I
yeah,
don't know how to
yeah,
pronounce that.
yeah, similar
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah, that's what. And the other one is what addition symbol, what we can use as plus, so that it will concatenate. Okay.
Yeah.
So while you concatenating two string values, what should be considered? Like what are the rules and regulations that we should follow? That the both the data types should be string. It must. Otherwise, you can't concatenate. For example, if I want to add 4 plus 4, it will give error because the second 4 is what a string value, but the first 4 is a
Yeah.
numeric value. These are not the both are the same. These are both are different. The first value for the first data type is what integer, and the second data type is what we call as string. So both are different data types. So you can't use any arithmetic operator in any of the problem statements when the data types are different. So the main thing should be that uh, like both the data types should be same. But this should not be the case while you are adding some two data types. Like for example, um, let me give the question. Let me 4 plus 4.0. It will it give error or will it execute? As both the data types are different. The first number is 4, which is an integer, and the second data type, which is a float number. So if
Yeah.
we are adding or we are manipulating with some of the like arithmetic operators, here I'm using addition, which is arithmetic operator. So,
So it will not give error. Like we will get the 8.0 as an output.
okay. So what happens here? So as I mentioned, like it is illegal to add or have a multiplication with two different data types. It is valid because here it is valid because what it's actually doing behind the scene. So it takes 4. Okay, as it takes 4,
Yeah.
and it will check the data type of the second number. So as the second number is already a float number, then what it will do at the behind of the scene, it will convert this 4, the first data type, to float, at the behind the scene, it will convert to a float number. So while you convert, if for example, a equal to 4, now b equal to 4.0. Okay. Now I'll check the type of a. So it's integer now. Okay. As I have mentioned
Yeah.
nothing, it's treated as integer. So at the behind of the scene, what it will check, it will make the first number into float, then it will do the addition. Because for it also, it's illegal to add two different data types. So for that reason, we are doing this. Okay. Even if you would
Okay.
remember in language C also, as C doesn't support any behind, there is no operation like behind of the scene. It is making changes or data type changes. We usually we operate we solve the problems by changing in the code itself. We usually change the data type manually, then we will be adding the or subtracting the things, otherwise it will give error. But in Python, behind the scene, it changes the data type. No need to change yourself, so no need to type the no need to change the like data types here.
Okay.
So let me change the b equal to float of a. So here I'm trying to change the data type of a. So let's check
Okay.
how the b looks like, and as well type of b. So earlier the a was earlier a was integer, right? So let's check
Yeah.
after converting, after making into float, how it looks like. See, it converted into 4.0. So now it is able to add 4.0 plus 4.0, which is 8.0. That's the reason, that is the reason why you are getting the response, the output in float numbers as well. Similarly,
Okay.
same applies for complex numbers. If you want to add a integer value with a float number or a complex number, the result would be complex number itself. So basically, it's trying to convert the value to the complex numbers first, then it will add or it will be part of your arithmetical operation. That's what the thing is going on. Okay. So that's what with the
Okay.
float and type. So basically these are the internal keywords we will be using. These are the registered keywords, so which you can't even use for some variable name. So as I have mentioned here, a equal to 4 and b equal to
Okay.
float of a. These are the variables where
Hmm.
we will be storing some piece of information. So these
Hmm.
words should not be matching with the registered keywords. These are the registered keywords: float, type, and print, input.
Yeah.
These are the some of the Python inbuilt keywords. You cannot reuse it. If it's not like that, if you are using something might happen. But sometimes, for example, if I write type equal to
Your
6.
voice is not audible, Shalini.
Hello, hello. Is it now?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah, now it's fine. Hello.
Will- Is it fine now? Hello.
One second.
Okay.
Hello. Am
Yeah.
I audible?
Yeah, you are
Yeah,
audible.
yeah. You are also audible.
See, I have stored some value in a variable type. If I print type,
Okay.
it's giving 6. So this doesn't mean that we can't use this registered keywords. Sometimes you can use these registered keywords as your variable, but most of the times it might give a conflict as well. So it is recommended not to use these registered keywords.
Okay.
Okay. And there are some sort of rules of giving these variable names as well. So the main rules are that you can use only underscore in your
At the start.
at the start. You can use underscore. Other than underscore, you can't use any of the symbols that having your variable if you want to keep some name in your as your variable, you can only use this character underscore, and you don't have any option of having space. You can't use space characters any of the in any of the variable name. Variable name should be without space and other characters, and it should not start with any capital letters. I think it's worked, but
Okay.
yeah, I think I am mistaken. Yeah, you can use that. The only thing that you cannot use any other symbols in as part of your variable name. So better to use, if you
Okay.
want to use any symbols, then you go for underscore. Other than
Okay.
that, you can't use space, at the rate, or like other symbols you
Number.
can't use. Yeah, you can't use numbers. Sorry, you can't start the variable name with numbers. For example, 1
Okay.
dB equal to 45, it should give error. So instead of giving that, you can write db1. It should work. So numbers should not take the first position of your variable. That's what the thing. Okay.
Okay.
So these
Okay.
are the things with numbers, integers, and complex numbers. So there is not much use in complex numbers. We will be using very rarely the complex numbers, but
Yeah.
the funda would be little bit same only. And coming to part of strings we have covered. Let's move a little bit towards the objects and all. Okay. So let's give you
Okay.
the overview of variable. So as I have mentioned, the rules and regulations of naming nomenclature of this variable. So what Python does internally, like how it stores a value in particular variable. What's going on? Like any idea like how behind the scene it's storing? How it
So like
recalls?
in
For example, I have stored 45 in db1. So now I'll search for db1. It will give 45. Like how it is able to do such like operations?
like it's storing in the memory.
Huh. So basically, basically it uses RAM itself. So basically it's a memory only. So what it does, so basically when you assign a value to a particular variable db or some variable, it actually searches one of the place like in your RAM, one of the place, and each place would have a specific ID for it. Okay. So at that particular place, your 45 would be stored. And for
Okay.
45 would be stored in that place. And there would be another place where db1 would be written. Like db1 would be written. And that db1
Okay.
would be pointing to this value. Okay. So how to find that? So there is a keyword ID of there is a keyword we use as id for to trace where it is stored. So this is the id of the value where this particular value is stored. Okay, this is the
Okay.
value, this is the id. So let me search for id of 45 as well. So both the values are same. Got it?
Okay. Okay.
And there is a interesting thing here. For example, I want to assign the same thing in another variable. Okay. For example,
Okay.
db2 I am storing 45. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Now let's check the id of db2 comma 45. So what's your guess? What would be the output?
The same. I think the same place it
Same
will
would be,
be stored.
but I am saying there would be different one. I think got it. Wait, sorry for this. So you are right in this case. The reason is that whenever you assign the same value to in another variable, or else when you will be like assigning a same variable to another variable, for example, db1 variable you will be assigning to db2. So what's the same thing is going to happen? The reason is that in order to save the memory, save in the sense like utilizing less memory.
Yeah.
in order to utilizing less memory, what's the Python is doing, it is called as some like dynamic some memory, sorry,
Allocation.
heap memory. It's something, it is called heap memory. So what it is doing, so first it will store 45 and db1 will be pointing to that. But when you assign a like different, when you define a different variable and storing the same variable, so what it will do, db2 will also be pointing to this 45 number. So that what will
Okay.
happen, all the IDs would be the same. So here
Okay. Okay.
the 45 is stored in only one place. So you are not copying into another any other chambers, and you will be declaring into other memories, and you will be calling those particular memories. So it will consume your memory 3 times. So in language C and all, what will happen, if you when you define any different variable, it actually saves the information or copies the information into some different part of the memory, wherever it finds the uh, place or space, it will store there. But in Python, this is a trick where it is playing to in order to save the memory. That's it.
Save the memory. Okay.
Okay, this is what the pointings and all, this is the key where you can find the ID. So ID of that, like this is the position in your memory where actually your this particular number is situated. This is what ID.
Okay.
Now let me give some information that like some use case I want to give. For example, your task, for example, I am giving you a task. If I the problem statement is very simple. If I give you a negative number, the output should be positive number. If I give you a positive number, the output should be positive number. How can you handle this particular use case? For
Okay. So what?
example, if the input
Yeah.
is if the input is 5, okay,
Okay.
then output should be 5.
Okay.
If input will be -5, then output should be +5. This is what the use case. So basically modulus. I want to have a modulus. If plus,
Okay.
then let it be plus. If minus, convert it to plus. Then how you will be solving this particular use case? What's your thought in it? What's your input in it? How you will be tackling with this use case?
So in
For example, A is -5 is there. Okay, this is what
okay.
input is. Now I want to check A. If it is negative, then make it positive. If it is positive, then keep it positive itself. But you don't know what the value is stored in A. That's hidden. Now I am removing
Okay.
this. We know that A has some value. That's it. A had some value. We don't know what it is, but you are the output should be in positive. If it is positive, then output should be positive. If it's negative, its output should be positive, irrespective to the value inside the A.
Okay.
How can you do
So
it?
I can use that
Huh?
operator module
Which operator?
for
Which
checking
operator?
the negative number.
What you have to? How can you check that?
I'm just thinking.
Okay.
Module. Modulus operator we can use.
Modulus operator. Can you operator? You can directly use. Can you explain? Like how can you use that? Like
Or negative number we can have
see, one thing we can do.
yeah.
Um, it's not modulus. Actually, we will be using mod. Sorry for the mistake. Mod, you right, no, you know, right? We will be using these pipe symbols, like these are the mod value where you have values like -5 and all. Correct?
Yeah.
But we can't use these operators and all. But what instead we can do, we have two options. Here we have two options. Either you can go for if and for loop. So I don't know whatever a has. So what I'll do, I'll check if a is less than 0,
Yeah.
then make it positive, right? So for making positive, how can we make it positive? I want to make a as positive. So this
Yeah.
condition is saying that it is a negative number. If a is less than 0, that means it is already a negative number. Then what you will be doing here? So how can you make a negative number to positive? How can you do that?
Multiplied by -1.
Yeah, that's work. Any other
Yeah.
thing you have? Okay, the first thing we'll do. Then parent, what you have said, multiplying with -1 multiplied with a. This should give the positive number. Perfect. Else,
Yeah.
else means it's already a positive
A.
number. So you
Same
will be
thing.
printing
Yeah.
a. Okay. So let me, um, so we already know here you can give any of the values. So let's give a first positive number and let's check how it's working. So it gave +5. Because we are giving +5, it's giving +5, it's perfect. Now let me give -5 here. In giving -5 also, the output is 5. In this way, we have achieved our problem solution. This is the one of the way we have. We can use if else statement, conditional statements. Okay.
Yeah.
What about if someone don't know about conditional statements? Because this is little bit higher topic. So without knowing these if else statements also, you have a keyword available in Python. We have a function available in Python, which will make this operation easier. The operation is simple. This is what ABS we have. We call it as absolute. Okay. If I pass -1,
Absolute value. Yeah.
it's giving 1. If I pass 1 also, it is giving 1. If I pass -5, it passes 5. It throws 5. If I pass +5, the output is 5. Simple, right? Instead of giving 4 to 5 statements, you
Yeah.
can use this hidden keyword that nobody knows it. So it's like
Yeah.
most of the
Yeah.
people haven't idea about this absolute value, so you can use it. Okay.
Okay.
Then after
Okay.
these we have you know, like we have something about shift operators, and we have uh, in numbers also we have different number systems available. One is binary, as you already know. So if you give some value here 23 or 2, it will convert to binary format. This is what the value of your binary. Leave the first two characters,
Yeah.
that is just denoting, it's just denoting that it's b for binary, and after b whatever the values you have, that is what the value of this 22. So it's actually converting this to binary, and vice versa is also possible. Copy this,
Okay.
and if you want int of that particular value, just paste it, and you can get the integer. I think base 10 is there. Okay. Wait a second. Something happened. Okay, sorry. Okay, got it right. Reverse also is possible. Like if you have some binary value and you wanted to make it into integer format. Basically, integer are what base 10 we call as just decimal numbers.
Okay.
What we call where we have numbers using like 0 till 9, including 0 and 9
0
we
and
will
9.
be using. This is what decimal values. And in binary we'll be using only two values, that is 0 and 1. Similarly, we
0
have
and 1. Yeah.
hexadecimal, octal, we have hexadecimal, like we have much more numbers. In hexadecimal we will be using 0 to
Yeah.
9, including 0 9 plus A, B, C, D, E, F, some alphabets, until you get a value of 16. Similarly, octa also will be using, where we will
Yeah.
be using 0 to 7, including 0 and 7. That's what the octal value. So how you will be converting to oct? Use OCT and give the binary. Direct binary number also you can give in this position. So it actually identifies the data type of the input value and it converts to the octal value. So this is the binary value, but when we convert it to octal, it gave us 26. Similarly, you can
Okay.
continue with hex. You want to convert with this particular value in hexadecimal, you just paste it. So in hexadecimal, this is called as x16, which is 22. If you want to make again integer, you just copy this particular value and let me put here and let me check. This is the 22. What we have started with 22. First we have converted this 22 to binary, then again we checked with integer, the same value we are getting, then octal, then hexal, like we have different types of values. So these might be used for some of the operations, like in some of the mathematical problem statements we'll be using binary and
Okay.
shift operators to get the responses fastly. Not fastly, like your approach would be easier to get the output. So sure.